All right. Thank you, all of you, for coming today. Appreciate it very much. I am videotaping the training for the some that couldn't make it today. But our main purpose today is just to be realigned as a team, to review some of the elements of your roles, and then and identify other ways that we can help each other do our roles. And because everyone wants to feel welcome when they walk into any church, we'll just go over a few hospitality items. Now our agenda, we're gonna just cover scheduling, checking in with each other. Tom, there's some seats over here. Okay, Paul, I've got seats here.
Inside.
Inside.
All by yourself on the inside.
On the inside, all right.
She won't bite you. She's not here.
So we'll cover scheduling, checking in with each other, being seen but not noticed, candlelight, then we'll go over a few elements of your roles, and then finish with hospitality. So I'm gonna keep this brief today as I can, and I'll just leave a little bit of room for questions in between or comments that you have. Scheduling. First off, if you walk away with only one thing today, is that this thought: we help each other by communicating with each other. You're not gonna be very good at hearing what's in this brain sometimes, and I'm not gonna be very good at hearing what's going on inside of you, because we don't know what we don't know. But if we can speak and talk to each other, that's the huge thing. So walk away with that. But when I schedule your interactions with me, I'm working with about 65 people. So when I say thank you for responding to the request for scheduling, or to add blockouts to the schedule on the dates that you can't make it, whew, I really mean that, because there's a whole matrix of things that I'm looking at. So when I go to that Sunday and I know you can't serve, we're good, I can move on. So thank you for blocking out dates, for confirming. You're saving me lots of time. John, there's some seats up here. Yeah. So I have, on your first handout, I have some tips to make it easier for you to communicate. You've done really well with adapting to Planning Center services. Most of you have adopted the Church Center apps, but on your app, this is just to help you level up. But on the first one, you're gonna see the green services app. This is the app we've been using for, 5 years. And on this app, if you go down to the bottom, looking at it, would be your bottom left corner. It says schedule. On that, that's where you can see your schedule. You can also respond to any requests. So let's say I send you that email and you don't know what the schedule is yet, you can easily get back to that email or that request by just going to your services, responding there. Blockouts are also that place on your phone. So I've got blockouts over here. Block them out. It's very helpful. If you turn it around, this is the Church Center app. And in the top, looking at this, the top right corner, there's a little circle. I happen to have a picture in there, but you might just have initials. But that's gonna take you to the Me page. The Me page is everything in Planning Center that has to do with you. So if you're planning a vacation or something, and oh, wait a minute, I can look real quick by seeing what do I got going on, and you can check those things, you can respond there. So I just want to let you know those things. And the last one is, let's just say, nobody here in this room is probably in that category, but let's say your contact information changes. Well, this is where you would change that information. So that's your little Leveling Up, if you haven't already found out how to use those and discovered those are some ways that helps you to communicate and get right back to things rather than finding an old email. Any thoughts, questions about using Planning Center? Has everybody got the Planning Center services or Church Center on their phones?
I'm just loading it now.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. Good job. If you need help, I can help you afterwards too, but I'm sure you got it. Next item, yes.
It's not related to this page, but Helping Hands starts at 7:30. I'm there at 7:15, and I'm busy, so should
Thank
that
you.
be changed?
Usually 7:15 too.
That's a Mike. That's
I
Mike's
changed it.
world.
I would think, because I'm there usually about 7:15, and
Yeah, I
I'm
think most of
probably
everybody-
late.
I think it's in the I think I helped to change the template.
Yeah, we would just have to change it.
It's really set up in a template, and I just add everybody's name, so I'll go back and change the template.
There's some settings. Good observation. That's all right. Okay, next, checking in with each other. This is more than attendance. This is our double check. This is to make sure that our communion assistants are ready to roll. So communion assistants, you may or may not know, but it's our usher's responsibility to make sure you're here. So they're looking to see if you're coming. And if you aren't here, their job is to go find a substitute. You can help by arriving 10 minutes ahead of time, because trying to find a substitute at the last minute is kind of tricky, or to have somebody on hold and then, wait, you can't do it, or yes, you can. If you can arrive just 10 minutes early and then check in, find the ushers and say, hey, I know, hey, I'm here today to serve. Now that seems like overkill to say, hey, I know, but we've actually had communion assistants sitting in the pews, and the door, there's that one finger that comes out the door, and they just forgot. So it's good to just check in with the ushers, help them do their jobs by checking in. And ushers, there is a request too, is don't ask the same person to be a substitute each time. Some people, like Mr. Mike Way, is so friendly and so willing to do everything that a lot of times Mike might get asked more than his fair share. But those who are communion assistants, raise your hands. So you can see there's a lot of people here that you can ask. Any comments on checking in?
Would it be helpful if those, I'm a substitute, I'm not normally, well, I guess I do get scheduled as a community assistant. But would it be helpful if we come in and we're available to let the ushers know we're available if they're short one?
If you're willing to,
That would help.
it's all communication. It's all communication. It's good. Thank you. Bill, anything else? Any other comments? All right. Now this next one, being seen but not noticed. In other words, this is about serving our neighbor, our fellow congregants, by doing our best to avoid unnecessary distractions. So first of all, I want to say thank you for all of you who just like go down and around and up. Thank you, by not using the sacristy door. Now, every so often, there's that one finger that comes out the door, and we're trying to avoid that by having the check-ins at the beginning, and by you responding in the scheduling. So that should be like a rare occasion that happens, but if it happens, it happens. So thank you to the ushers not ushers, communion assistants, for going down and around and getting in your extra steps. I hope you got your step trackers going. I think it counts. And then for ushers, my request is to just ensure the sacristy door is closed before the service starts. That's a simple thing right there. Can you guys think of anything else that we might consider a distraction that's avoidable? You guys think of any? We're good to go? All right. 4, candles. So this has come up recently. We no longer have acolytes who are trained, so we have ushers filling in, we have communion assistants graciously filling in, and it's wonderful. All of that is really good. But the suggestion is that we actually come up with a sequence to make it standardized. So you've got this sheet here. There was a lot of research, and there was checking people from before, checking the internet, referencing a 1964 Altar Guild manual. And there's a few, everything is not always, not everything is always the same. So for Trinity's situation, Pastor came up, he came up with this sequence. So the candles on the altar, those are called the altar candles or the communion candles, but we're just gonna call them the candles on the altar. Those are lit first, and then you go to the sides and the light emanates from the cross out to the congregation. So you go from the back to the front towards the congregation. If it's one person, you're going to do the altar candle and the candle on the altar and the sides, go around the front, bow, and then go do the others. Again, candle on the altar, 3 on the sides going towards the congregation. And if you come back around, bow. If we're using the Christ candle for baptism, that will be lit last. Once it's, now if there are 2 people doing it, we just ask that you synchronize with each other and just do it together, pause and wait for the other to get with you. Other than that, extinguish in the reverse sequence. Any questions?
So the baptismal Christ candle would be extinguished first.
Correct, if we happen to use that one. So that's kind of what we came up with. This sheet is now by the candle lighters in the sacristy for your reference. But we haven't had anything official for a long time, so apparently, hopefully.
That's the way I was trained in the 70s, so I think that's probably right.
I'm glad you remember, thank you.
That's like Gordon.
Oh. And I see here, one more thing, to avoid burn marks. Altar Guild is requesting that we light from the sides. That's the,
Burns, or is it dripping candle wax on
it's wick, little char things from the wick
it? Oh,
that comes from the lighter. So that falls on there. So she's asking that you don't light it from the front, but from the side, because it's like the shortest distance. If you have to wiggle, do the best you can, you know? But the idea is don't reach over the altar linens any more than you have to. And that just,
know the further out you got that wick stuck when you're lighting candles, that's when you're gonna start getting the ash dropping.
questions, comments?
It seems to me I can't reach it from the side, and the 2 in the ones in the middle.
I kind of looked at it myself, and I could go between the candles on the side. If it doesn't work, then just get wherever the shortest distance is. Do what's good for you.
I'm also clumsy, I might be afraid I'll knock into the other. Go in between them, I'll knock something over.
Okay.
do your best.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And this is, we're just
This
Working
isn't
with it.
sacrilegious.
Right.
Okay, all right, thank you. Then we have a few elements in our roles. These are just refreshers, reminders. Communion assistants, this year, there was a request, and I think I sent out an email, but this is just a reminder that when you are serving communion, speak up. Speak your words clearly. People like to hear the words, and some can't hear very well, and they like hearing the words. So if you can, speak up. And if you have questions on what to say, I do have the words here that was just pulled out of the order of service. The pastor said you can do the long version or the short version, all of it works. But if you have questions, it's there. It's also posted in the sacristy. Items for ushers. We have new name tags, and so they've been updated with the brand logo, the colors, the font. They are all magnetic, but if you have a pacemaker and it bothers you, or you just don't like magnets and you want the clip, there is a box there that you can just switch it out yourself.
Point of clarification,
Yes.
at the end of service of communion, when are we supposed to be exiting? Because at one point, I thought pastor had put out that once he has the communion, we're covered, we're out,
Right,
Yes.
and that's not happening.
right.
Well, he starts praying right away, you don't wanna walk out in the middle of his prayer either.
So,
That's what we waited
we
on the
might
day.
have to rethink that prayer.
And I don't like missing the prayer. If I'm back in there, I don't even hear it, so.
Well, I prefer exiting after the blessing, personally.
The blessing and the prayer run together, so it's.
Yeah.
So, pastor just doesn't want you there to the end of the service. And that was the purpose of, it was kind of different for him because up in Rogers City, that didn't happen. So it was like, I got extra people here. So when is it better for you?
It's easier to just, if we all get on the same page and say, you know what, once he's done with the prayer and does that,
I think after the prayer, when he
Post-communion.
goes up to do the benediction is a natural time for us to
well,
depart.
after the post-communion benediction.
Right.
And that, before he transitions to the close of the service.
Which is, I think, what we did today, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Okay.
I said somewhat.
All right. Continuing on with ushers, we have that cabinet in the ushers room with all the levers and switches. At one point, there was a sign that said, "Don't touch any buttons." That sign somehow fell off, a button got touched, and it took 3 weeks to figure out why you couldn't hear the bells. It's because a switch had gotten flipped, and so we had people climbing up in the tower trying to figure out. So, the message is from Scott, if you need to adjust anything, go find Scott and just leave the buttons alone.
We can do the one button for the narthex, switch. That's what the sign used to say.
That's what I mentioned. But I was told no buttons.
Yeah, I was hoping Scott get up and he almost fell when he was up there, so whoa.
I was just told no buttons, so. We'll
Should we
go
do
with
it at
it.
our own risk?
Yeah.
Ask for forgiveness later.
Ushers, if you didn't get one yet, ushers, raise your hand. Besides, Paul, you got one of these already. Did you get one of these? Any other ushers? That is your updated roles, duties, and guidelines. Just, you can review them. They will be posted in the ushers room. We're covering most of the changes now. The last item are connection cards. So it was time, the blue connection cards that we have in the ends of the pews, they have the old logo, they get beat up. So we're trying something new. So we're gonna try, these are yellow. They have communion instructions on the back. But they are going to go, hopefully, behind the envelope, the scan to give, in here. So as ushers, they are, people are instructed to put these in the offering plate in the back. They may or may not, but if you see them, then grab them, you can give them to me, or put them on the book in the usher's room. So that's our starting point. That's what they look like. But if you are sitting in a pew and pastor mentions somebody, mentions the connection card, and you've already maybe said hello, you might just, I don't know if that's too forward or not, but if you feel like you're having a conversation with somebody and they'd like maybe pastor to contact them, ask them to fill this out. You can use this tool.
You're gonna have more than one in a few,
How many should we have? 2?
as
Well-
many as new people are in that row.
True, well, if it's a family, but they will be wherever, I think, what do we have, 4 racks per pew? So there will at least be,
Yeah, should be.
yep. So your job will be to look for the yellow. Do you wanna see these? Not, if you want to, they're up here. For roles, for ushers or communion assistants, any other comments or things that you've seen? Okay, easy, we're gonna move on. Move on to hospitality, just in general. And the whole reason is because everyone wants to feel welcomed when they're walking into church. Doesn't matter if they're a visitor or a regular member. So, but I'm gonna ask you in specific that if you see visitors before the service, be watching for them. Does it look like they're lost? Do they not know what they're looking at? You can show them the table that we have, the beacon, or the news, formerly known as the beacon, on the table, but you can also let them know that we project the service on the screens, on the walls. So you can look at that, or maybe they're looking for the bathroom. You can let them know it's there, or they could head downstairs. But just, if you see somebody new, just watch. And if it looks like they could use assistance, ask. Now, after the service, it's being intentional that anybody you don't recognize, anyone that's standing off by themselves, even if they're a regular member, I just ask that perhaps you gently approach them, check in with them. How are they doing? It's just an opportunity to be hospitable to one another, to take care of one another. Now, starting a conversation with somebody you don't know, sometimes that's really uncomfortable, but it's more uncomfortable for them than it is for you. I included a small talk handout that you can just review, and you can use this practicing wherever you're at. But a lot of times, it's just noticing things about the person. You can start with an easy introduction or whatever, but notice something about them. Hey Mike, I like your tattoo. I'm gonna pick on Mike today.
Then you get it.
Is this really true? People don't care how much I know?
Nope. But the goal of a conversation is to ask enough follow-up questions till you can find something you have in common with. They've grown up in Jackson all their lives. Oh, so have you. Where do you live? You can follow up with that. At least you have something in common, and that creates a connection for them. So just review this if you like. It's a nice tool and nice reminders. More on hospitality. Harvest dinner, coming up the first Thursday in November. There have been people that have walked in by themselves, sat by themselves. Nobody talked to them the entire time. And when I was greeting at the door, they'd go, like I'm ever gonna come back to this church, you know? And so I'm just asking you to just pay attention to who might be at the next table. You can invite them to sit with you in your table or go sit with them, but it's probably easier to invite them to come sit with you. But if you have that opportunity, you can use small talk prompts, but just to be aware of that. Holidays, watch, because not everybody is with family. We all make that assumption, but just watch. And if you see somebody that's kind of standing, oh, you waiting for somebody, you know, just light conversation, but it's just making a connection. Street people. So this is a new thing. Pastor wants these by each entry door, so there will be bags that you can give somebody. So you know how times, you know, we're all told, give no money, give no rides. And you really have to not do that because it's for your own safety. They will end up, people have been approached again and again in the parking lot. And sometimes the person is not all there and it's not safe. So, but you wanna give them something, you can give them this. You can give them a bag of food. Anne is working on a food pantry in the office space behind her office. It all got cleaned out. She's applying for a grant. And then Abby Valenti is gonna be filling the bags. So that'll be one of the jobs when Abby comes to church with Ann on, I don't know, maybe it's Tuesdays. So we have the bags, they'll be there. Feel free to pass those on. And if they really want to talk to the pastor, well, no, it's not happening, but you kindly ask them to come back during the church hours or church office hours during the week. So again, no money, no rides, for your safety and the safety of others here. So comments, questions?
Didn't catch what was in the bag in the box.
Say again?
The bag you're handing out, what's in it?
I didn't look that hard.
You giving them food or toys or what?
It looks like water, Starkiss, tuna, snack,
Food items.
yeah. Some treats, some jerky, some,
Lottery ticket.
Yeah, that would be good.
yeah, so they are food items.
$2 scratch off.
Yeah, give that a bit.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think we did really good, because we'll be within 30 minutes. So, last chance. Any comments, thoughts?
I have a hard time with hospitality. A couple of people in this room doesn't have a personality. Don't you have to have a personality? Todd is one that sticks out.
I'm gonna
What are you
say,
saying?
as in everything, all you need is a little compassion.
Oh, okay. I don't have that.
Compassion will get you everywhere. All right, well. Ooh.
Back up.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. I'd like to close with a short prayer, please. Thank you, Father, for all that are here and for their service to you. Give us eyes to see new people and those standing afar off that may need some encouragement. Help us to help each other in order to continue to bring you glory and to serve our brothers, sisters, and neighbors. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you for everything you do.
You're welcome, thank you.